Nigerian Maritime Expo, known as NIMAREX, is an annual event which is conceptualized as the meeting point for key players in the maritime industry. It is the ideal forum for stakeholders in the industry to network, unlock business opportunities, and foster a sustainable business partnership. This year's NIMAREX, which is the fourth edition in the series, created a platform for maritime stakeholders to interface and harness opportunities. The event also focused on the 100 years of maritime development in Nigeria. Welcome to The Axis, where we examine the port as the axis of the Nigerian economy. I am Tala Aladi. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us on the program. NIMAREX is an international conference, an exhibition where stakeholders in the maritime industry come together to deliberate on critical issues that affect the growth of the industry. It is also a platform for players in the industry to showcase their products and services. The Axis brings you the details of the three-day event. We shall also feature the NIMAREX dinner and award night. The significance of the maritime industry to the Nigerian local and international trade underscores the necessity to reposition the sector for development by the federal government of Nigeria. In the last few years, the maritime sector has witnessed a revolution which has had positive impact on the port and shipping sectors and attracted foreign investments to Nigeria. As a result of the opportunities that abound in the maritime sector, the Nigerian Maritime Expo, tagged NIMAREX, was initiated by the Nigerian Indigenous Ship Owners Association, NISA. The NIMAREX series is facilitated through the combined efforts of the Federal Ministry of Transport and maritime stakeholders. Like the previous NIMAREX conferences, NIMAREX 2014 brought together stakeholders in the sector to deliberate on issues that would chart a roadmap for the development of the sector. This year's NIMAREX focused on the 100 years of maritime development in Nigeria. The theme was apt as it is in line with Nigeria's centenary celebration. President Goodluck Jonathan, who was represented by the Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umar, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to develop port infrastructure and the establishment of hub port for gas at the Ex-Cravos area of Delta State, adding that the 24-hour service delivery system at the seaports has been realized.
A number of measures have been put in place over the last 2 years by government aimed at enhancing the operational efficiency in the various ports. For instance, 24 hours operation has been achieved in the Lagos ports, where more than 60% of our port activities take place. These efforts are continuous and involve all stakeholders, which require constant monitoring and evaluation. The contract for the consultancy services for the establishment of a port at Ogidigbe near Ex-Cravos as part of the gas industrial park with free zone status, which is expected to be the hub for gas revolution initiative of the federal government, is awaiting federal government and federal executive council consideration and approval. I wish to use this opportunity to reiterate the federal government's commitment to the resuscitation of the Calabar Access Channel. As we are aware, government had earlier approved the establishment of the Calabar Channel Management Company, a joint venture between Nigerian Port Authority and Mrs. Niger Global Limited, in order to guarantee the sustainability of the Calabar Channel.
President Jonathan said that as part of government's efforts to further develop the maritime sector for the creation of job opportunities for Nigerians, a number of river ports have been established.
With regard to inland waterways development, and in order to sustain the dredged Lower River Niger Channel, I am happy to indicate that the contract for the dredging of River Benue is currently being processed to the Federal Executive Council for consideration and approval. This will further guarantee the sustainability of the Lower River Niger Channel and expand our inland waterways. In the same vein, a number of river ports are being developed, with the port at Onitsha completed and commissioned. The processes for the concession of the port to a private operator are in progress. I'm equally happy to say that the development of river ports at Baro, Oguta, and Lokoja have respectively attained 90%, 73%, and 50% completion.
The president also emphasized some other areas of the maritime sector where the federal government has recorded milestone achievements.
In the area of maritime safety and security, the partnership between the Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and the private sector is yielding positive results. In the same token, the federal government has granted approval to NIMASA for the removal of wrecks and derelicts on a no-cure, no-pay basis in order to provide for safe navigation within our waterways. In the area of capacity building, the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, NSDP, anchored by NIMASA, is making steady progress as over 2,000 cadets have been sent for various trainings all over the world. To further enhance manpower development for the industry, the construction of the Maritime University at Okinawa in Delta State will soon commence. In addition, maritime institutes are being established in 4 universities across the country. These are University of Lagos, Ibrahim Babangida University, Papa in Niger State, University of Nigeria Nsukka, and Niger Delta University. The federal government has granted approval for the Nigerian Shippers Council to act as economic regulator at the ports.
The chairman of the occasion, General Ibrahim Babangida, who was represented by Major General Raji Rasaki, emphasized the need for Nigeria to harness the enormous maritime potential.
The maritime transport opens a country to global markets. It enhances market size and eliminates market distances. It is also not an accident that most developed economies in the world today are maritime nations, all located along the sea ports. The desire by Nigeria to showcase the enormous potential of Nigeria as a maritime nation is therefore a positive step in the right direction. The development of these sectors therefore calls for partnership and synergy between government and private, creation of conducive investment climate and policy incentives, competent workforce that are credible and capable.
In a welcome address, the chairman, Numerex 2014 Planning Committee, Barrister Margaret Onyema Orakwisi, stressed that for Nigeria to take a place in the Committee of Nations, Nigeria must develop a maritime sector.
With the human, natural, social, cultural, and political resources of this country properly harnessed and brought to bear on the maritime sector, Nigeria is ready to take on the world. And to take on the world, Mr. President, Nigeria must, and I repeat, must necessarily develop a maritime and shipping industry to aggregate the different aspects of our economic niche within the Committee of Nations.
Numerex, which has become a veritable platform to showcase the maritime sector as well as proffer solutions to issues affecting the sector, brought together key players in the sector who spoke about major achievements of their organizations.
The Nigeria Ports Authority calls the review that the recent reform of the ports by government has brought tremendous improvement to the way business is done in the maritime sector and has increased the volume of cargo passing through our ports. The authority has earned more revenue, and this is evidenced by the ongoing infrastructural development and renewal projects embarked upon across the ports.
We, as a regulator in the sector, are going to create the enabling environment to support local content, to promote the cabotage trade, and all other aspects of the maritime sector that are dear to us.
As the Nigerian maritime sector attains 100 years of existence, so also do the shipping sector. The president of the Nigerian Indigenous Ship Owners Association, NISA, Chief Isaac Jolakpamo, who attributed Nigeria's existence as a nation to shipping, took stakeholders down memory lane, explaining how shipping business started in Nigeria from the colonial era to the present day.
The major actors in the shipping sector in Nigeria, and indeed West Africa in the pre-independence era, were Edda Demsa, John Wood, and United African Company, otherwise known as UAC, and its shipping arm. The companies laid the foundation of shipping operations in the West African sub-region and Nigeria. Since the 19th century to the present time, Lagos Port has been the most important trading port for the lines. By 1906, the inward and outward cargo freight of Lagos Port amounted to 20,000 tons, which was 10 times greater than any other West African port. Nigerian Ports Authority grew out of Edda Demsa. Edda Demsa was in the forefront of shipping in Nigeria. The company was training pilots and engineers in FBA as cadets. Our colonial masters set up a framework. They built schools. Until today, some of the mission schools are about the best in the country because of their discipline and the well-structured academic and personal development programs.
Chief Jola Pamo stressed that despite the fact that the Nigerian shipping industry has existed for more than a century, the required attention has not been given to the indigenous shipping industry.
The people who started this country had this in mind. At independence, they were training our people through the Edda Demsa to run a national shipping line. But of course, that was politicalized. And like I used to say, you cannot develop shipping on political platform. So the national shipping line went out. We are not competitive with the foreign people we are dealing with. Which, if we are not given the first right of refusal, there is no way we can compete with people who goes to take their money at no interest or 2%, whereas here is about 17, 20 something.
In response to the submission of a NISA president that the indigenous shipping industry in Nigeria has been neglected, President Jonathan stated that government has taken steps to revive the industry, adding that a lot has been achieved in the maritime sector when compared to the pre-Reformation era.
The federal government is committed to assisting the indigenous shipping companies and individuals to grow their capacity. This is evident from the various activities that the federal government has been doing and putting in place a lot of things for the industry. However, there is much to be done, and that the federal government has that intention of assisting the indigenous players to build their capacity.
Some stakeholders comment on the challenges and the way forward for the sector.
You can't compare what was there in 100 years ago and what is happening now. You know, there is a tremendous improvement and tremendous development. Except now there is this reforms. So the reform has assigned responsibilities to each one of the institutions in the industry. So from MPO point of view, it's just to provide facilities to ensure that there is smooth running of the ports, to ensure security in the ports and the rest of them.
We're making efforts so that we can also domicile trainings here. That's why we're investing heavily in the Maritime Academy around too. Besides that too, we have a university that has been approved for construction.
We believe the private sector will make meaningful contribution to that industry, the maritime industry, and that will spur the potentialities of the industry, which will in turn make meaningful contribution to the economy of the country. Shipping is populated by various stakeholders, and you need a fair playing field. You need an equilibrium, you need a balance for that sector to triumph. And Nigerian Shippers Council is the umpire, is the referee that oversees the operations of the maritime sector and try to advise the government on investments in that sector, sector realizing its potentialities.
What we want to see is how we link all these potentials for the growth of the economy. The maritime sector, even not in the next 100 years, in the next 10 years, you will see things happening up. Because once you start the infrastructure well laid up, the goal is achieved.
In terms of all the legislations, government has done the legislation. It is the implementation oftentimes that is the problem. So I will advise that that's the area we should focus on the implementation of all the various initiatives that has happened. That way we'll be seeing results.
For every nation, maritime is very key to the economy. Employment generation, stemming capital flights, technology transfer, say in the case of fabrications and shipbuilding and all of that. But for a nation like Nigeria, we've done well by way of policies and laws and acts that have been put in place to catalyze the indigenous maritime industry. The implementation of these policies and acts have been a challenge.
Nimarex also featured the unveiling of the book titled Investment Opportunities in the Nigerian Maritime Sector. The international conference was rounded off with an exhibition which was declared open by the Minister of Transport. Key players in the Nigerian maritime sector showcased their products, services and new technology at the exhibition. The minister, who was conducted round the stands of exhibitors, expressed satisfaction at the turnout of stakeholders at the expo. Welcome back. Now to the dinner and award night where top stakeholders in the industry were given awards. Amongst them is the Managing Director of MPA, Malam Habib Abdullahi. The award night also provided the platform for stakeholders to network for business opportunities. One of the traditions at the annually held Nigerian Maritime Expo Nimarex since its inception 4 years ago is the dinner ceremony. The dinner ceremony allows participants to network in a relaxed atmosphere. It was a night of various forms of entertainment mixed with cross-fertilization of ideas among participants who represented different interests in the maritime sector. The event kicked off in earnest with a dance presentation by an indigenous dance group. The Nigerian Navy Band also treated the guests to sonorous tunes. The high point of the event was the presentation of awards to great maritime personalities for their support for Nimarex and particularly for their unique contributions to the advancement of the maritime industry in Nigeria. The Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Malam Habib Abdullahi, was one of the recipients during the night. The organizers of the event revealed why the Managing Director of MPA merited the award.
We actually asked opinion from everybody in the industry and we were rated so highly. And we just want to appreciate you. All you have been doing in the maritime industry, the many more things you will do, and we want you to feel encouraged. This is your primary constituency. So whatever you get from us will rank highest in the country.
The Managing Director of MPA, who was visibly elated for being honored, comments.
I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Other distinguished maritime personalities honored were Mr. Hassan Bello, Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Shippers Council, Chief Isaac Jolakpamo, Chairman, Nigerian Ship Owners Association, NISA, and the Director General of Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA, Mr. Patrick Akpobolokemi. The guests also witnessed the cutting of the Nimarex 2014 cake, which is a model of the Nigerian Navy ship Andoni. The ship was solely built by the Nigerian Naval Engineers. The ship was recently commissioned by President Goodluck Jonathan. The dinner and award ceremony was indeed a success, as seen on the faces of the guests as the event came to an end. The Managing Director of NPA, Malam Habib Abdullahi, who is not known for accepting awards easily, spoke to the Axis on what makes Nimarex Award different and special to him.
I feel elated. I have refused for some reasons to collect any award for throughout my stay in the industry, more especially when I became the Chief Executive of Nigerian Port Authority. I decided to collect this one because one, it is Nimarex is recognized by all the other arms of the industry, and it's a fully integrated thing that has been going on for some years now. So it's good to be recognized by your brothers and sisters.
You're still tuned to The Axis. It's nice to have you back. We want to remind you that you can watch the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/theaxis. It's now time to bring you the shipping position. 17 vessels arrived at the Lagos Port Complex. 2 arrived with bags of wheat, 2 with general cargo, 1 came with bags of fertilizer, 1 with steel products, 2 with bags of sugar, 1 with bags of gypsum, while 6 came with petroleum products. A total of 65 vessels are expected at the Lagos Piloted District. 6 to arrive with general cargo, 2 with fish, 13 with bags of rice, 1 with used vehicles, 27 with containers, 3 with petroleum products, 3 with bags of wheat. 2 with bags of sugar, 1 with bags of gypsum, another 1 with bags of salt, 3 with steel products, 2 with fertilizer, 1 with DPK, 1 with gas, while 2 motor tankers are awaiting customs clearance. That's the shipping position for this week. That story wraps up this episode of the program. You can send your comments, questions and suggestions to the Axis 2014@yahoo.com. You can also watch the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/theaxis. See you next week, same time, for another interesting package. Until then, have a great week.